It didn't start with an explosion, not even a press release. It started with nothing. The elevators at Amazon's Seattle HQ stopped running at night. Strategy teams vanished. The war rooms once glowing with global logistics chatter? Silent. No leaks, no gossip. Just one eerie detail. Executives had stopped booking meetings in Seattle. Then came the shock. Amazon, the company that redefined e-commerce, dropped a bombshell. The global headquarters, not a division or a side office, but the entire central brain of Amazon, was leaving the United States. Gone. Operations, finance, logistics, leadership, everything moving offshore. The reason? Tariffs. But not just ordinary import taxes. This was a trade war on steroids, politically loaded, economically punishing, and globally contagious. It hit the very foundation Amazon was built on, and in the blink of an eye, America's biggest digital empire said, enough. Let's rewind. The match that lit this fuse was a bold, explosive trade doctrine. January 2025. A new administration in Washington vowed to ignite a patriotic trade revolution. That meant sky-high tariffs on Chinese electronics, European medicine, Canadian raw materials, almost everything imported into the US, and it meant the death of the de minimis rule, the little-known but crucial loophole that let low-cost items skip customs fees entirely. For Amazon, that rule wasn't just convenient, it was a pillar of its business model. Suddenly, millions of cheap, overseas-made products, phone chargers, earbuds, socks, smartwatches, became up to 145% more expensive. Amazon's razor-thin margins? Wiped out. Worse, competitors outside the US? Untouched. They could still ship cheap, still sell fast, still profit. And Amazon? It was stuck footing the bill for a global showdown it didn't start. Executives ran the numbers, then ran them again. The projections were brutal, $13 billion in lost profit over 3 years. So they made a decision that changed the course of corporate history. Project Silver Compass, a mission to redraw the global e-commerce map from scratch. The goal? Find a new home. Not just an office, a new country, a new center of gravity for a $1.5 trillion enterprise. 4 countries made the shortlist. Singapore, blazing fast, hyper-capitalist, surgically efficient. Ireland, friendly to tech giants, quietly powerful in global finance. Canada, culturally close, diplomatically flexible. The UAE, tax-free, regulation-light, politically insulated. Comms, each had something to offer, but only one had everything. Inside closed-door meetings, Amazon began negotiating like a nation-state. They wanted tax breaks, digital sovereignty, expedited visas, data law exemptions, everything needed to not just survive but dominate. And the UAE answered. With firepower, 10 years of zero corporate tax, a sovereign data treaty, so Amazon's cloud empire could operate untouched, a custom-built logistics district in Dubai, an expedited relocation for up to 40,000 employees and families. This wasn't an office move, this was nation building. Meanwhile, tensions back in the US boiled over. A leaked experiment from Amazon showed tariff surcharges directly on product listings, revealing to customers exactly how much trade policy was jacking up prices. Washington exploded. The White House accused Amazon of undermining American interests. Congressional allies threatened antitrust action. And then, a phone call. Private, heated, between the president and Jeff Bezos. Reportedly, Bezos made it crystal clear. If you make it impossible to operate here, we'll operate somewhere else. And then, silence. No press, no tweets, no interviews. Until May 6, 2025. Amazon confirmed the unthinkable. Its global headquarters was officially moving abroad, and the consequences were immediate and brutal. Wall Street staggered. Amazon stock dipped 5%, then bounced back. Investors realized this might actually make the company richer. Lower taxes, no tariffs, more freedom. But in Seattle, it was a massacre. Tens of thousands faced the impossible choice: relocate abroad or lose everything. Home prices slid, local businesses folded, city budgets collapsed. And while Seattle scrambled for answers, Amazon was already sending its first wave of executives to Dubai. In Abu Dhabi, its entire data architecture was being cloned onto UAE servers. Cloud engineers were getting trained in Gulf financial law, data localization, and regional labor codes. Autonomous fulfillment centers were launching in Bahrain and Oman. Amazon was going post-national, post-American, borderless, and every other tech giant was watching. Amazon's departure wasn't just an isolated decision, it was a signal flare. and every boardroom from Silicon Valley to Wall Street saw it. If Amazon, one of the most embedded, influential, and profitable US companies, could walk away from the American system, what was stopping everyone else? Already, cracks are spreading. Apple has begun lobbying for tariff relief on Chinese components. A leaked internal memo warns that ongoing restrictions could force Apple to move more of its supply chain overseas, permanently. Tesla, which once framed itself as the pride of American manufacturing, has quietly applied for new tax treatments in Indonesia, where it's building a massive battery complex. Walmart, a company long viewed as a symbol of US retail power, is now reevaluating its sourcing structure and exploring foreign logistics bases to protect its supply lines from future geopolitical shocks. This isn't retreat, it's evolution. These companies aren't leaving the US out of spite, they're leaving out of necessity. Because in a world where trade policy is unpredictable, taxes are weaponized, and regulations shift with every election cycle, stability is the new currency. And America, for the first time in decades, is no longer the safest bet. Dubai, Singapore, Dublin, they're rolling out the red carpet, offering stable policy, future-proof infrastructure, and a promise, we won't turn on you overnight. And US companies are listening. Because Amazon didn't just move, it redefined what it means to be a global company in the 21st century. Amazon's new HQ is more than just an office park. It's a prototype, a digital special economic zone engineered from scratch for AI development, quantum logistics, drone fulfillment, and cloud innovation. Without the shackles of US regulatory red tape, local universities near the new site in Dubai are launching research partnerships with Amazon. Entire neighborhoods are being upgraded with smart infrastructure tailored for high-speed commerce. Even immigration policy is being rewritten. Engineers, economists, designers from across Asia, Africa, and Europe are being offered fast-track residency to build Amazon's next era. It's no longer about made in America. It's about made for everywhere. Amazon's workforce is fragmenting and realigning. Some teams have relocated, others are being retrained, and a whole new international talent pipeline is forming, untethered from any single nation. This is a post-national corporation, with no allegiance but to its bottom line and its vision. And back in the US, the backlash is growing louder. Senators are calling for investigations. Labor unions are accusing Amazon of betrayal. Consumer watchdogs are demanding new laws to stop what they call tax-fueled corporate flight. But the truth? It's too late. Amazon is already gone. The servers are being powered up in Abu Dhabi. Fulfillment lines are spinning in Oman. Tax deals are signed. New logistics maps are drawn. America built the company, but the world now owns it. And with Amazon's exodus, a deeper question is now echoing through the halls of power in Washington. What does it mean to be an American company in a borderless world? If the cost of doing business on US soil becomes greater than the cost of leaving, not just financially, but operationally, politically, strategically, why would any company stay? Tariffs were meant to protect America, but they became triggers. And Amazon just pulled the biggest one yet. As Dubai's skyline glows with Amazon's new nerve center and other nations compete to host the next wave of digital empires, a harsh truth settles in. The world has changed, and the US just lost its place at the top of the corporate food chain. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown powerful, share it. Subscribe to Global Pulse for more global business stories with real stakes and real consequences. The future's not coming, it's already here.